Well, hello, everybody. Can everybody hear me okay? I just wanted to do another quick sound check now that it's, I guess, 1 minute past the hour. Y'all, welcome. I'm so excited to be able to officially welcome all of you here to SNHU and kick off your very first webinar of the term. Just a couple of things. You're not going to need a microphone or a camera. I'll probably say this a few times as students are still logging in. You just need to be able to hear my lovely voice. And just a reminder, this is recorded. So the recording has started, and I will download and upload this to our first year experience YouTube pages for both IDS 105 and SNHU 107 within 24 hours of the session ending, okay? Plus, you'll get it emailed to your SNHU email address. So as a reminder, we have both students that are taking SNHU 107 and IDS 105 today as we talk about our top 10 tips for your success to get started here at SNHU. Another housekeeping item is that when I am live in here, I am unable to see the chat on my screen, but I have my phone, so I have kind of both devices running. So I will try to get all questions that you might have, but know that I'll probably answer most things as I kind of chat today, but I'll make sure I go through the chat before I let y'all go this afternoon and that I got all the questions answered. Or if you needed something and I missed you, don't hesitate to send me an email and we'll make sure that everybody's all squared away, okay? So first and foremost, your experience here at Southern New Hampshire University is very important to us. It is our policy and practice to create an inclusive and accessible learning environment. If there are aspects of instruction or course design that present barriers to accessibility, please notify the Online Accessibility Center, the OAC, as soon as possible at 866-305-9430. You can also email our wonderful Online Accessibility Center team at oac@snhu.edu, or they have a dedicated website too. A lot of students want to know, like, what is this Online Accessibility Center? The Online Accessibility Center, or the OAC team, is here to help you as a learner get content like webinar content, classroom content, things that you might need in a way that works best for you and your learning style, okay? So if you have questions about this or want to explore it a little bit further, just reach out to the Online Accessibility Center team. They can let you know what works for you, what services they might be able to provide, and get you all situated. Housekeeping stuff, you guys have heard me say this already, but just in case you hopped on, you do not have microphone or camera access enabled, so don't worry about those things. Today's session is recorded. And it'll be posted within 24 hours of this live session ending. This is an academic space, so always be mindful of your conduct, especially in the online classroom spaces, in SNHU Connect, which is where you can find the clubs, organizations, and the learning communities for IDS 105 and SNHU 107. These webinars for both classes, y'all, are not graded, okay? They're not required, so you don't have to watch them, you don't have to attend them. However, there will be webinars every single week for both SNHU 107 and IDS 105 that are specific to your assignments and course content from week to week, okay? So these webinars will be loaded bright and early every Monday of the new module. You can log in when it's convenient for you. You can watch it when it works best for you, but they literally walk you through the assignments and the concepts that you are covering in those classes from week to week. Does that make sense? So they're optional, but they're just there for your extra support. There's also these shorter little focus videos, they're called, that are real quick things that walk you through some of the basic things in your classroom. So just know these aren't graded. You don't have to be here, but students tell me every term like how helpful they are, because sometimes we just need to have somebody show us like where to click, how to find things. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a visual learner. I like to be able to see like what I'm supposed to be doing, especially if I've been out of school for a while, right? Any of you been out of school for a while? These webinars are offered in a live session just like this throughout the term. This is actually the only one for the term. The rest of them will be on demand, which means they're pre-recorded and they will be available to y'all every Monday of the new week, okay? So just know that that's happening. So like July 1st, Monday, July 1st, when you log in to our first year experience channel, if you want, you'll see the learning community webinars for IDS 105 and 107 loaded and ready for you, okay? So tell me, before I tell you a little bit about me, who here has been out of school for a minute? Maybe this is your first time starting classes. If that's you, say, hey, that's me. Maybe you're somebody that has had classes before, but you've been out of school for a while. So maybe you have some transfer credits. Maybe you are in your, second, third term here at SNHU and you're taking one of these classes. Whatever it is, I just want you to know that we are so excited that you're here and part of our SNHU family and that you have chosen us to partner with you on your academic journey. We know that adding school or college to an already busy schedule of competing priorities can be a lot, right, y'all? But I just want you to know that you 100% can do this, okay? You are going to hear today about the top 10 tips to get you started for your success. I'm going to briefly show you just real quick a couple of things in both the IDS 105 and SNHU 107 classroom spaces, but the webinars and the learning community and the resources and departments here at the university are here to help support you in your success. So this is me. Hello. I'm going to turn my camera on real quick. Sometimes when there's a lot of you and my camera, it can be kind of mean. So, hey, this is me, y'all. I do teach SNHU 107 and IDS 105. I've worked for the university for over 10 years, but I have been a professor for 20. When I say that out loud, it seems like a lot. I work primarily in the first year experience, the FYE department, which that is all about your experience as a first year student here at SNHU. I'm also an academic partner, which means I work with all of your faculty. So I might not have all of you in my classroom, but I get to work with you in the learning community and SNHU Connect. But I do teach a section of SNHU 107 and IDS 105. So some of you might see me in the classroom space too. This is me. This is my family. I need to update the picture of my children because now they look way bigger. Time is a thief. So I have two boys. I am married to a Harley Davidson motorcycle enthusiast. We love to be outside. We love the water. I live just outside Pensacola, Florida. So if any of you ever been to the Gulf Shores or seen our amazing beaches here around the Gulf of Mexico, it's an absolutely beautiful sight. And I love the pool, the river, the lake. It doesn't matter. I'm a part-time mermaid is what I joke about. Ooh, Pensacola. Somebody knows that Pensacola goes by Pensacola. Fun fact, if you've ever heard about the Blue Angels, they do a lot of air shows across the country. This term, I had one of their pilots in my IDS 105 class, which is really pretty cool. So it's kind of fun to talk about all the work that he's doing. So I know y'all are busy, but it kind of can be helpful to know just a little bit about the faculty that you're going to be working with or the departments you're going to be working with. And these webinars are going to bring you different people from different departments throughout the weeks. So you kind of get to know a little bit of everybody. But what I want you guys to know, besides my hobbies of cycling, reading, and coffee, iced coffee, anybody else have a coffee right now? Is that I am absolutely a resource for you. The content and the work that we do in the IDS 105 and SNHU 107 learning communities, they are there for you and your success as a student. So a lot of students always ask, or they get confused on okay, what is this learning community? Is this where I turn in my assignments? No. Everything you do that is graded will be in what's called Brightspace. That's that learn.snhu.edu website. Everybody been familiar with that? Have you kind of seen your classes in that e-space, clicked around a little bit, right? That is where everything is graded. Everything graded, just remember Brightspace, okay? Now, outside of Brightspace is this community called SNHU Connect. Anybody heard of that? This is where you can find the clubs here at the university, the organizations. This is also what houses the IDS 105 and SNHU 107 learning communities. Now, these learning communities are outside your classroom. Again, nothing graded, not required, don't have to be there, but it's a fun space to be in, and it's just there for your support. It's a place where you will see and get to know other students that are here at SNHU that might not be in your specific class section, but they're still taking that same class. Or they've taken IDS 105 or they've taken SNHU 107, and they give great advice if you're stuck on something and you post about it in the community. That's always a really cool thing that happens. We do have the live and on-demand webinars, like I already mentioned. For the rest of the term, you guys are on demand, which means that every Monday on the First Year Experience YouTube channel, and I will post all the links for the webinars and where to find them when I get done today. You can go in and watch them when it's convenient for you. The webinars are usually about 30 minutes or less. And then we have these quick little focus videos that show you a specific thing. There's one in there that's like how to find your discussion board, how to find your like assignment templates, like things like that, how to find the university resources. They flip those webinars. I saw the question on the YouTube channel. They flip right at midnight. So really, if you're up late on Sunday nights, when it crosses into Monday morning at midnight, they're loaded. They flip right at 11:59 p.m. Okay, so that's where they are. And what does this equal? It equals just a happy, successful you. Now, one thing I wanted to point out is that SNHU Connect, where you find these learning communities and you access the student clubs and organizations, it can take 7 to 10 days after you registered for your classes for you to have the login for that. So if you have been trying to log into that community and you're stuck or you're not getting in there yet or you're having trouble, just know it can take that 7 to 10 days to get that login access. If you're still having trouble, please let me know or let your instructor know or your advisor know, and we'll get you hooked up with the email to get it all situated and figure it out. Okay, sound good so far? Now, my special guest is not with us today. He is actually taking part in a conference, but I wanted to introduce you to one of our amazing associate deans here at SNHU, Dr. James Winfield. Some of you may have him for your instructor for your classes this term, as he teaches both SNHU 107 and IDS 105, just like me. And I saw a quick chat, a question in the chat. There are two different learning communities, one for SNHU 107, one for IDS 105, but you guys are both here together for the webinar today, okay? So some of you might have Dr. Winfield, or Dr. J is what his students like to call him, as your instructor. He's an amazing human, and I love how accessible the leadership team is to the student community. So some fun facts, just like you got to learn about me, is he's a Marvel fan. So I know there's a big like battle between the different universes that are out there, but he's a big Marvel fan. He loves to cook. He's a family man, and he's a resource for you. James oversees a lot of different departments, but one of the departments he oversees is called the peer mentors. And they are students who are students or have been students just like you, and you can submit to work with them one-on-one, and they're great, especially if you've been out of school for a while or you're having trouble kind of getting settled. They're a wonderful resource just to kind of connect with and help keep you accountable and keep you progressing through your classes, okay? So I think that's really a cool experience, and a lot of students don't even know about the peer mentor program, so I wanted to make sure that I shared that with you. You can always ask your advisor about it too if you have questions. So if you see me kind of looking between screens, it's because my phone is where I see the chat, and I want to make sure that I'm getting all of your guys' questions. Now, one of the things that Dr. J likes to share with new students is this acronym called PIN. Now, do you know who our mascot? What is our mascot here at SNHU? Anybody know? Pop quiz, pop quiz. What is the mascot at SNHU? First person in the chat to tell me gets a special high five. Ooh! Carolyn, yes, the Penman. So Dr. J likes to use part of the Penman to come up with this acronym called PIN, which is to persist, engage, and network. Here at SNHU, we want you to persist with your education. We know that life happens. Things come up, and not every day is going to be sunshine and rainbows. There's going to be some thunderstorms in there. You know, it's just how it's going to be. You're not going to love all your classes. You're not going to love all your faculty, but we hope that 97% of what you do here at SNHU, you really do enjoy. But no matter what comes up, we want you to keep going, which means we want you to engage in the classroom, engage with your classmates, engage with your faculty, your instructors, engage with the resources that are here at SNHU. I know in the beginning it can seem like a lot. There's a lot of resources, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of acronyms, there's just a lot. Take a deep breath, take it step by step, one day at a time, but just know, do not hesitate to reach out to your instructor for your classes. Do not hesitate to reach out to your advisor. We want you to be successful. So engage with us, start small. If there's resources we need to help connect you with, we can do that, okay? Which is also comes down to networking. We want you to explore the clubs, the organizations. We want you to explore getting to know the other students in all the departments, but do that too when it also works for you. You don't have to do it all day one. Just know that that's available to you and your success, okay? The other big thing is that if you remember anything from today, is I want you to say out loud, I got this. Say it. I want to in the chat. I want to hear you like, I got this. I can do this. You are 100% worth this journey. And I know for many of you, there's probably a lot of emotions, right? Anybody feel those emotions where you're like, I'm a little nervous, I'm a little excited, I'm a little overwhelmed, I'm a little scared. I mean, you might be all the things, and it's okay. because you're not alone in that. All right. You're not alone in those feelings. You're not alone in that emotions. It's not going to be perfect off the bat, but you will get there. You will get into a routine. You will figure things out. The biggest thing is just to remember you have to believe in yourself. And so when things get tough or you feel yourself like getting overwhelmed, take a deep breath and just be like, I can do this. I got this. And then reach out to any resources that can help support your success. Okay. That's the really big one, is I want to make sure that you know that we believe in you and you have a team of people here. You just have to reach out and connect with us. Okay. So like I mentioned, I have both SNHU 107 students and IDS 105 students here. So I'm going to do 2 quick overviews of both of your classes as far as the assignments go, just so you kind of know like what to expect. They're going to be kind of similar, but the biggest thing I want you to know, if you are taking SNHU 107, hey, where are you? SNHU 107 has 5 discussion assignments, 5 journal assignments, 3 warm-ups, and a final project. Okay. Those discussion assignments, no matter what class you are taking, when you have a discussion assignment, your initial post is always due by Thursdays. Okay. Thursdays, 11:59 p.m. Week 1, that's East Coast time. So pay attention to your time zones. Okay. So what is an initial post? It is where you're going to have a series of questions that you're going to be asked in your discussion, and you want to answer them, sharing your thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Okay. So those initial posts for discussions, remember, Thursdays. And then you want to respond, they're called peer responses, to at least 2 of your classmates by every Sunday, 11:59 p.m. Make sense so far? So just remember, with your discussion assignments, Thursdays and Sundays. Now, I saw somebody chatted about, we have a holiday coming in on July 4th, which is Thursday of week 1. Double check your classroom environment as far as due dates. Often the university will make it so everything is due on Sunday. However, if you are able to get that assignment done earlier in the week or before the holiday or on time, I would encourage you to do it. That way you don't fall behind on something, you don't forget about it, because I'm telling you, when that weekend hits, things get busy for students, and I don't want you to miss something for your very first assignment. Make sense? So just check there. Check with your instructor on anything as far as your discussion due dates, but just know my advice would be to get it done early or have it done on time, just like it was a normal week. That way you don't miss anything or fall behind. Okay. Journal assignments. You're gonna have a template for these, which means that you open these up and you're gonna be able to type right in it and answer the questions. Now, I want to point out, Microsoft Word is something that y'all are going to need, whether you have IDS 105 or SNHU 107. Microsoft Word or something compatible. The cool thing is you get Office 365 for free as an SNHU student. Did you know that? And I'll show you where you can find that. You will go into your Brightspace Classroom. You'll click on the help icon, click on online student services, scroll about halfway down, and you'll see Office 365 and other software. Click on it, follow the prompts to get downloaded. If you get stuck, reach out to your advisor or our amazing SNHU help desk. I will show you guys that when we get done today too, okay? But just know you need to have Microsoft Word or something compatible, both in IDS 105 and in SNHU 107. Warm-ups, same thing. IDS 105 has some of these too. They're basically like quizzes, but they're an open book quiz. So don't let the word quiz make you nervous. I always tell students, read the content within your actual module. Students miss this often. They just like click right into the assignments. Make sure you click on the module and click through any content that's within it that you might want to review or need to read. Watch any of the extra videos and stuff that might be there. Read your reading chapters that have been assigned, then take those warm-ups. Okay, you do get multiple attempts. In case you struggle the first time, go right back in, take it again. But just know that those are open book, and those journals, warm-ups due on Sundays. Okay, so discussions are the one that have that Thursday initial post. Everything else is going to come in due on Sundays. Okay, and then the final project basically is going to be connecting the dots of what you've worked on all term long, concepts and discussions that you've had, journals that you've shared. You're going to open up a big document. It has 12 questions, if I remember right, either 12 or 13. I always confuse IDS 105 and 107. 12 or 13 questions, and you're going to answer them, giving your thoughts, your experience, and what you've learned in the term. It's literally connecting the dots. That's always due in week 7. And we have an entire webinar dedicated to that project specifically of how to do it a whole week early so that you feel supported and know what to do. Okay? Makes sense for SNHU 107. Y'all feeling good? Was that helpful to kind of go over like what you have due, what's coming up? Sometimes it's like, what does that mean? What is that? Okay, good. IDS 105. So IDS 105, you have 6 discussions, 2 journal assignments. You have a warm-up, which is those quizzes that I mentioned, right? You can take as many times as you want. You have 4 project drafts, and then you have a project. Okay, so IDS 105, your discussion, same thing. No matter what class you're taking, initial posts on Thursday, peer responses by Sunday. Okay. Journal assignments, you're answering a series of questions. Again, Microsoft Word is what you want to use or something compatible. So when you submit it, your instructor can open it and grade it. Okay. You just have the 1 warm up, again, open book, can take it as many times as you want to. You all have an IDS 105, a final project that again is due in module 7. However, you work on that project piece by piece in what's called project drafts. So you're going to have your first project draft due in week 2. Your second project draft is due week 3, and then you have week 4, and then you have week 5, and you're going to, so those project drafts, again, are our Microsoft Word document. You're going to open up this template. So you're going to have a template, which is something that you can open up and you can type right in the template. You will have access to the entire term's template right in the very beginning in week 2. However, you're only answering the questions as assigned for each module. So when you go to do this assignment in week 2, which is when your first project draft is due, you're going to open up that template and you're going to see the questions that are labeled module 2 for what you should be answering. You only answer those. Okay. You're going to pick a scenario, work, school, or personal, and you're going to answer the questions based off of that scenario and your own personal experiences, thoughts, and what you've learned in the classroom. Make sense? And then your final project, literally, when you get to module 7, you have already done your final project. It's been completed through you submitting your project drafts. But in module 7, you're going to look back at any graded feedback from your instructor and you're going to clean up, make any edits, add anything that you needed to be added, and then submit it. Sound good? Okay, IDS 105, how are we feeling? Did that help? So you both know like what you have due, kind of an overview of what it's going to look like. And just remember, week 1 is module 1. You focus on module 1 assignments only. Week 2 is module 2. Only module 2 assignments that week. A lot of times students ask, can we work ahead? Yes, you can work ahead. However, I caution you on working too far ahead because you don't want to miss key instructions or tips for your success or how to do an assignment so you have to redo it. Okay. However, like if you're somebody that on that discussion assignment, you're logging right away in on Monday mornings to get that done, that's fine. You can turn it in before the due date is convenient for your schedule. Just make sure that it's always turned in by the due date. Okay. Does that make sense? All right. So now I'm going to kind of dive in. I'm going to check the chat really quick. Make sure I'm not missing any questions. And today's a lot, y'all. It's a lot of information, but take a deep breath. Remember, 1 day at a time. You can do this, and it's 1 week at a time. The things I'm talking about right now so far are like your whole term at a glance. So just take a deep breath and know, focus 1 week at a time, 1 day at a time. Okay. Now, question of the day. Who has mapped out their SNHU study time? Have you mapped it out? Do you know when you're going to study for your classes, when you're going to do your work? Anybody? Some of you are like me. No, haven't done it. One of my biggest tips that I can give you is to prioritize your time, y'all. You need to sit down for a minute and look at when in your schedule are you going to be able to read those assignments, go through that work, and work on stuff. It's going to look different for everybody. Just know that. Some of you might do things in the morning. Some of you guys might do things in the afternoon. Some of you might be after people go to bed. I mean, just do what works best for you. Some of you, it's in the nooks and crannies of your day, and that's okay. Just make the time. Piece of advice, if you're able to work earlier in the week, it can really help so you're not overwhelmed or stressing to meet those deadlines toward the end of the week. I have some students that like to do like their discussion initial post on Monday or Tuesday, respond to classmates by Thursday. They might take their quiz somewhere in the middle of the week, and then they finish up anything else maybe like Friday or Saturday. So they kind of get Sunday as like a rest day. But do what works for you because everybody has different schedules. And for some of you, weekends might be where you work, or you might work overnights, or you might work swing shifts. So do again what works best for you. But if you can work ahead on some things, work ahead earlier in the week rather than later, or break it down. Kind of break down your week because it makes it not feel like it's so much. Okay. Make connections. Y'all are already doing this. Get to know your classmates, get to know your faculty. Y'all, I can't tell you enough. Do not stress or be nervous to reach out to your instructors. who are your faculty, your professors. Like we want you to succeed. We want you to be helpful. And I guarantee you, whatever question you have, it's not the first time somebody has asked it or the 15th time. If something happens in your life, let us know. Sometimes our weeks fall apart. We have kids that get sick, fingers that get broken, natural disasters that happen. I think I saw somebody here from Iowa. Iowa is having Iowa and South Dakota, major flooding right now. Lots of power out. Things happen. We got hurricanes here in the Gulf area. It's hurricane season. Like we know that things happen. So if something comes up in your life or your week just fell apart, be honest, reach out to your instructor, see what you can do to either get back on track or stay on track. Okay. Get to know the SNHU departments. I'm going to talk about them here in a minute, but there are so many people that are just here pulling for you and your success. Okay. Tip number 3, both classes have electronic textbooks. Okay. So you should have gotten an email to your SNHU student email account that kind of goes through the instructions of how to purchase these and get everything connected. But if you didn't, or if you're stuck, or you're not sure on something, reach out to your advisor. They are the best at getting you all connected and ready to go with your books and everything for the term, okay? But just a reminder too, you can always, when you log into your Brightspace Classroom, this is kind of what it looks like. Underneath this help arrow, there is online student services. When you click on that, you will see academic support right in the middle, and SNHU Bookstore is right there, okay? So SNHU Bookstore is where you click to add your class and how you're taking it online. You're going to add your course materials to your cart and check out just like you were on Amazon. If you have any questions about like financial aid, financial services, book vouchers, anything like that, you want to work directly with the financial team on that. But again, if you're stuck, you're not sure in something, please reach out to your advisor. They can help you get all situated, which is so important too, because of that email that you get. Y'all, do not forget to be checking your SNHU email. Check it daily, check it a few times a week, because that is how the university communicates with you. And so it's really important that you check it, because that's where you're going to see reminders for things, or if you're missing something, or maybe your instructor has emailed the class out like, hey, this is how you do this assignment, or some tips for your success. So just know, check your SNHU email, and also always be reading your announcements that are in your classes every term, okay? Backup plan is my tip number 4. Make sure you have a solid backup plan in place. I saw somebody say like they're from Florida and the weather's always crazy. Yes, if it rains, the internet goes out in Florida. I can attest to that. It doesn't even have to, it can be like sprinkling and the internet goes out. So things happen, right? Like sometimes our work schedule we thought was going to work with our school schedule. That can change. We might get sick. Our kids might get sick. I have had students have babies early, have babies late. We might lose a loved one. Internet goes out. Computers break. Y'all, I tell students this every term. I had two brand new laptops. Black screen of death, never came on again. It was terrible. It was so terrible. So know that like we know things happen. We know that you're human. So if you thought about what you're going to do if your internet goes out, right? If the internet goes out, or if your laptop breaks, or if you're doing school from your phone, like have you thought about what you're going to do? Remember, there's a lot of places like local libraries, restaurants, coffee shops that all have Wi-Fi, usually free. It might be time to hop over to a friend or family member's house or a colleague to help do, complete your work, use their Wi-Fi. Maybe you might have to borrow their computer in case something happened to yours. I always tell students to write down your advisor and instructor's phone numbers, email addresses, write them down somewhere. So in case you don't have internet access or you don't have computer access, you can still like call or text or email, using somebody else's stuff if you don't have it, your instructor and advisor, to make sure that they know what's going on with you. Okay. So I saw some questions in the chat. I'm going to pause real quick about books. So for your classes, sometimes in the bookstore, you will see a loose leaf or paper version of the book in addition to the electronic course book. They're both the same. I will tell you that I have students that often get both of them. And then they tell me, I don't even know why I spent my money on the loose leaf one, because the electronic one is the one I use all the time. Because not every class is going to have electronic class book or course books. So some of your classes might have them. Some of these classes do have a loose leaf version. So if it's there and you like to hold the book, smell the book, highlight the book, and it's there and available, grab it. Not a difference. Doesn't matter what you want to do. The only thing is it sometimes the page numbers might be a little bit off. just from the electronic resource to the printed version. So just know that, just pay attention to the topics and make sure you have what you're looking at, okay? I also saw a question in here about the grading system. I did just a little bit ago go over kind of what your assignments are. And you'll notice if you log into your Brightspace Classroom and go to the Grade Center, go to grades, you will see each assignment and how much it is worth and how that would impact your grade if you didn't turn it in or if you struggled on it or how many points things are worth. Okay, so that'll kind of help you with that grading question. The next thing kind of goes with like knowing who and what is a priority, but make sure you create a to-do list and know what is on your calendar, what is a responsibility of yours, both inside and outside the classroom. I'm sure many of you are working, whether inside or outside the home. Some of you might be raising families or taking care of other people in your life. And it's important, you might have hobbies, we all have things that we're doing. So it's important to know what is on that to-do list so that you don't forget something or get overwhelmed. And maybe there's some things you can delegate to other people that are in your household, okay? Communication is key. This is a big one. You guys have heard me say this, like reach out, ask questions. Don't be nervous to reach out to your instructors, utilize your advisors, use the resources here at the university that are here to support your success. Every SNHU department has an email address. They have a phone number. If you log into your Brightspace classes for SNHU 107 or IDS 105 and you go to the announcement section, there's a My Instructor. You should usually see a picture of them or maybe something like a hobby or something that they love, but it gives kind of a little mini bio about them and how to get a hold of them. Usually it has their phone number, email address. Some faculty members like to or do text messages. Some don't. Some of them might even do like FaceTime calls or Google Hangout or even like Teams calls like this. Everybody's a little bit different. So make sure you kind of see how your instructor communicates because usually there's several ways to get a hold of them. Faculty do our best to respond to students within 24 hours. Okay, know that. We do our best. All SNHU people, departments, your faculty work to respond to you within 24 hours. However, if you are emailing your instructor at like 2 a.m. their time, you might have to wait till the morning. So don't send like 6 more emails because we're not seeing it. Okay. I always laugh. I'm like, it's like 2 in the morning. I went to bed at 10. But I know for some of you, that's when you're up, which is fine. Just know that your instructor will see it and they will get back to you. Okay. Let me see. I want to make sure that I got all the questions that are out there. No apologies for most of you. This is your very first class with SNHU 107, and it takes a minute to kind of learn all of the things. You might not have an instructor that it was assigned to your class yet. Your class section might have just been created. Sometimes that can take a little bit of time. Don't panic. You will have somebody. Don't worry about it. And then the other thing I wanted to kind of share for your tip is to watch the webinars. So like I said, there are webinars for both SNHU 107 and IDS 105. There's webinar links. I'll pop them in the chat. There's a first year experience YouTube channel, which it'll have the focus videos are all loaded for the entire term. The webinars will load week by week when the module kicks off. Okay. And then I think I saw a question about IDS 150. There is an IDS 150 class, but the learning community is for IDS 105 and SNHU 107. I'll pop those links in the chat here too, or if you go into SNHU Connect, just search IDS 105 and it'll pull up, or email your instructor, let them know, and we'll get you all situated, okay? Tip number 8 is to know your success team. So I want you to tell me who is going to support you as you start this academic journey. Is it you? You're driving the bus, right? You're the one that has to connect, make the time. But I'm sure you also have maybe some loved ones in your corner. Maybe it is just you. That's okay because you have your departments here at SNHU pulling for you and your success. So I want to know, like, as you think about it, like, who is on my success team? Who is going to help me kind of like make sure I have time for school? Who is going to maybe pick up some slack around the house so that I can get my schoolwork done? Why am I doing this? Who might help you like review some of your writing assignments and kind of look things over to make sure that everything looks good? Whoever is on your success team, you want people surrounding you that support you in your goals wholeheartedly and genuinely. Okay. I always tell students that when they start college, this is when you're really going to learn who your friends are. Because if somebody's jealous or they don't like how much time you're spending on school, like, I'm sorry, you have goals to meet. You are putting school as a priority. It's just going to be what it is right now, right? So just know it's okay to say that. And it's okay to stand up for your goals and prioritize your time in a way that works best for you. I always like to tell students too, like, utilize things as rewards. So like if you get in there and get all your homework and stuff done for the week by like Wednesday or Thursday, then that means like family movie night, or like, hey, let's go grab a pizza or an ice cream cone. Or maybe I had a student once that anytime she got an A on an assignment, she put $5 in like a little jar. And at the end of the term, she went and bought herself a new pair of shoes. Whatever works to keep you moving and to keep you motivated. Students will share with me all the time, like they did a pizza night or they did a movie night because like they got their final paper in or they got their projects done. So just, know who's on your success team and make sure you celebrate things along the way, make it a little bit fun. Okay. Tip number 9 is to use your feedback. So I want to remind you that your faculty will be hard at work grading your assignments from week to week. So you start classes on Monday, July 1st. Okay. As we know, we got the holiday in there, but I encourage you to just pretend it's like any other week. Get your work done, initial discussion post by Thursday, peer responses by Sunday. Any other assignments are always due by Sunday. If you can work ahead on those earlier in the week as convenient for your schedule, do it. But know that when everything is in on that Sunday, your faculty then have a whole 7 days. So from that Sunday of week 1 all the way through Sunday of week 2, your faculty, that's their time to grade. Okay. So some faculty grade as things come in. Some things in your class, like warm-up quizzes, auto grade. So you'll see your grade right away. But discussions, journals, projects, project drafts, depending on which class you're in, those take time and they're manually graded. So like I said, some faculty grade as things come in. Some faculty grade kind of through the week. Some you might not see anything until that next Sunday. So don't panic. Don't think that they forgot about you. Okay. Just know they're working on it. But also know that it's so important and your responsibility to check your grades. Check your grades all the time. Click and view the feedback that your instructor is leaving you on every assignment. Because if you struggled in an area, like maybe you're writing mechanic, sometimes we've been out of school for a while and we forget how to write academically. We also text message and email and shorten and have acronyms for everything, abbreviations for everything. Sometimes we forget that and we write like that. I'm telling you right now, double check that you're spelling out the word you, Y-O-U, capitalize, please capitalize the word I, capital I. It's not a little I, it's a big I. Because those are things that are common because we're so used to doing it on our phones and in our emails, and in spell check, we won't even catch it anymore. So it's really important that you're looking for that kind of stuff. But they might be telling you like, hey, you're struggling with your writing mechanics a little bit. I want you to work with the academic support team and written feedback. That is where you can like submit any writing assignment for SNHU to the academic support written feedback team. You fill out a little survey about like what you want them to look for, and they'll give you guidance and instructions and some ideas to make sure everything looks good so you feel confident about it. Okay, that's just an example, but review the feedback. Sometimes I have students that submit an assignment and they accidentally turn in like a blank template. They like had the blank template on their computer screen and they had the one they completed and they accidentally turn in the blank one. So I leave in the grade center like, hey, I'm putting a 0 here for right now because you submitted a blank one. And then they're like, oh my goodness. But sometimes they miss that because they don't go back and check it. And they're like, why am I struggling in my class? Well, we didn't get this turned in right. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I'll get it to you right now. So just pay attention to your grades, pay attention to the feedback that your instructors are leaving because we want you to be successful. Okay. Tip number 10 is to use your resources. You guys have heard me talk a lot about the departments and teams that are here. We talk about SNHU resources as the people, departments, and things here at SNHU. So you have 24/7 drop-in tutoring. You have written feedback, which is where what I just talked about. It's from the academic support team. You have these learning community webinars. You have our career team, your advisor, the help desk library, SNHU Connect. You have SNHU Wellness. There's just a lot of resources, a lot of departments, a lot of teams. I know it can be overwhelming. So start with your instructor and your advisor. And you're already here using one of the resources by joining the learning community webinar. Okay. But outside of class, we also have people that are those that we might depend on. This can be our spouses, our partners, our parents, our kids. It's us. It's our pets, mentors, bosses, supervisors, extended family. SNHU 107 students, you are going to learn a lot and talk a lot about the differences between social supports and SNHU resources. IDS 105 is going to be mentioned a lot, but more so you're going to focus on the SNHU resources. Okay. So just know that you have like this whole list of people supporting you inside and outside the classroom. So make sure that you're utilizing them for your success. As a reminder, SNHU Connect, is where we house those student organizations and clubs. And there's all kinds of clubs and organizations, y'all. I mean, there is parent groups, military groups, Nerds Unite. There is a paranormal club, psychology club, criminal justice. I mean, the list goes on and on. Gaming stuff. I mean, there's so much cool stuff that's in there. But it's also what houses the IDS 105 and the SNHU 107 learning communities. But again, it can take about 7 to 10 days after you register for your classes for your login to work. So don't stress if something's not working out, okay? So this is the big stuff that I have for today, but I did want to just take a second and walk through both classrooms. So if you're done, you feel confident in like navigating the classroom, you don't want to stay on, you are more than welcome to hop off. This will be recorded though. You can go back and watch the recording and kind of what I do. But I wanted to just kind of share the classroom space here really quick. But I wanted to first make sure that I got kind of all the questions. So hold on tight for me real quick. I think I got almost everybody. I love the little ideas that you guys have about like trips you're going to do or things that you're going to do to kind of keep it fun along the way. Who supports you? A lot of family, yourself, your colleagues. I mean, I just think it's like really awesome, all the people that you guys have in your lives. And those of you that are like, I'm doing this for me and I'm going to make this happen, right? Okay, so classroom space, very similar for both IDS 105 and SNHU 107. Very similar for all of your classes you're going to take here at SNHU. But I wanted to show you just a couple of things really quickly. Is one, when you log into that learn.snhu.edu, there's kind of a little tile button. That's where you can like click on it and bring up any of your classes. Okay, so you'll see I have a bunch of classes that are pinned there. But this is just an example of IDS 105. I wanted to point out that no matter what course you are taking, you are going to have the library and academic support up here at the top and this help button. Okay, so when you have the help button, if you click on this arrow and you go down to student tutorial videos, this is in both classes. I wanted to show you this because this has step-by-step videos that walk you through how to do different things in Brightspace. Okay, discussion boards, how to find your feedback and grades, you know, what the learning environment looks like, how to find assignment guidelines, how to download templates. It's all right there. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that I pointed that out for y'all so you guys could see that out there. The other thing I wanted to point out is this online student services. So when you click on online student services, it pulls up all the departments and people here at SNHU. Okay, it might take a minute just because sometimes it likes to be sassy to me, but you'll see right here, click the blue, gets you to where you want to go every time. Okay, so the bookstore is here. That's how you can get your books. Academic advisors, how to get a hold of them. You have the help desk. You have academic support is right here. Also, they're up at the top. But I wanted to kind of scroll down a little bit to this Office 365 and other software. This is where I was talking about you can get that Office or that Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint for free. So you click the blue, follow the prompts, gets you to where you want to go. If you get stuck, you're not sure how to do it, you're having trouble with it, get with your advisor or reach out to the help desk. Okay, you can also access SNHU Connect right here. That gets you into the learning community spaces. Remember, it takes about 7 to 10 days for your logins to be active. So I want to make sure I showed you all that. The other thing I wanted to show you real quick is if you click on academic support. Now, I know a lot of you mentioned like you've been out of school for a while. You're a little bit nervous about academic writing, no matter if you're taking STU 107 or IDS 105 or other classes. When you click on academic support, it pulls up their menu of services. So you'll see here they got a lot of stuff to offer. Okay. You have the 24/7 drop-in tutoring. This is that written feedback where if you click on try it now, you can upload and submit any drafted writing assignment as long as it's for SNHU. Discussions, projects, drafts, journals, projects. You can submit that rough draft. There's a little questionnaire that pops up that kind of asks you what you want your tutor to focus on, and you submit it and they give you feedback within 24 hours. Pretty cool, right? Anybody going to use that service? Students tell me all the time, I feel like they really start using it like maybe week 3, week 4, when they start to see some points taken off in their graded assignments. They're like, why did I not use this from the very beginning? Because it's just really helpful. There's a ton of workshops on all kinds of stuff, from citations to time management to using the library to writing assignments. I mean, all kinds of stuff that's out here, okay? Plus, they have kind of some larger tutoring options where it's more one-on-one with peer tutoring. They have academic coaching. There's a lot of stuff that's here. Again, I know it's a lot. I just wanted to make sure I showed it to you guys and gals because sometimes people just don't know that it's even here. Okay. The other thing that I wanted to point out, I see a question about Turnitin. Okay, so Turnitin, y'all, is something that when you have a written assignment and you submit it online in your class to be graded, it is ran through a system called Turnitin. What Turnitin does is it looks for any plagiarism or academic integrity issues. That means that if you have copied somebody else's paper or utilized somebody else's works or words or photos or things that you did not cite, it flags it. Okay. So if you have questions about that or you're having trouble accessing it, you always want to get with your direct classroom instructor or your advisor. But just know that Turnitin is something that you have access to as a student, because when you submit any writing assignments, like your projects, your journals, it runs it through a certain system to check to make sure that the work is actually your own. Okay. So the other thing that I wanted to mention to you all is just kind of their classroom kind of space. Underneath course menu, you'll find your course announcements. So again, here, like I said, you will want to make sure you're reading these assignments. This is from an old classroom space. So this is from like their last week in the class, but it's really important to know what is out there and what you have going on in your classroom every day. So always make sure that you're checking those course announcements, okay? Where you find your discussion assignments, you can click right here. Also your assignments, here's your grades, but learning modules is what I want to show you. Again, the layout is very similar for Student 07, and I'll go through that one next. But what I wanted to show you is always make sure you check on this Start Here area, okay? Both for IDS 105 and SNHU 107, because you'll find your syllabus, you'll find an overview of the class, you'll find information on your textbook and getting the Vital Source app all situated. There's a lot of information that's right here that's really great for you to get started. So that's why it says Start Here. Remember what I said, your class is 8 weeks long. Week 1, Module 1, Week 2, Module 2, and so on all the way through Week 8, right? What I wanted to show you is, like, for example, for July 1st, if you click on Module 1, you will notice it pulls up Module 1. Always click the blue, gets you to where you want to go. What I want to remind you is to always make sure that you click through the actual content within the module. This is the same for IDS 105 and SNU 107. You'll notice it'll have objectives. It'll kind of give you an overview. There's a lot of scrolling down and reading, okay? And then click over. So you'll notice, for example, that there's a lot of reading content right here for your assignments. Students often are like, I can't find this one concept for either SNU 107 or IDS 105. And I always say, did you read the module itself? A lot of times you guys will go straight to the textbooks or straight to the assignments, and you'll totally skip this. So I wanted to make sure I pointed that out, okay? So I wanted to make sure that I showed you this. Does that make sense so far of kind of where to find things, how to navigate to things? Your week 1 webinar goes through everything week 1, where to click, how to find it, how to get there, okay? Now I wanted to switch over to, let me see if I can get out of IDS 105 here. Go into SNHU 107. So very similar, y'all. Looks almost exactly the same, right? As a reminder, you got that help button with the online student services and the student tutorial videos, access to academic support, the library. Click on course menu. Again, you have your announcements right there. Also, when you log in, notice like here's your instructor. Learning modules, again, same thing. For SNHU 107, you have a Start Here area, okay? Syllabus is right there, how to get your book, how to get it downloaded and ready for the Vital Source app. All kinds of just basic questions are right here, okay? Now, same thing, if you go into Module 1 for SNHU 107, click the blue, gets you to where you want to go. When you click on that, notice, again, you have that content. Make sure you're scrolling all the way down and all the way over. And again, you're going to have any of your required resources, videos, textbook chapters, any module reading that you might have to do within it. Okay, so that's just kind of a quick overview of the classroom space. Was that helpful? Did that help kind of just go through all the things? Hopefully it just kind of shows you like where to click. Remember, the Module 1 webinar will walk you through each individual assignment for the different classes. So this webinar was you guys together, SNHU 107 and IDS 105. However, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here quick. For moving forward, IDS 105 has its own videos and webinars, and SNU 107 has its own videos and webinars, okay? So are we feeling a little bit better? Are we feeling better knowing like, okay, I know I'm not alone in my feelings. I know how to work through of our stuff. I saw some questions about journal assignments, Turnitin. Any written assignment goes through Turnitin. So journals, project drafts, projects. If faculty really want to, they can run discussions through it too. But students won't do it for discussions. So just know that when you are doing your assignments and your work, make sure it's your own words, your own thoughts. If you're not sure on something, or you borrow a quote, or you borrow an image, or you borrow a concept, just make sure you cite it appropriately, which the amazing SNHU library helps you do all of that. So just know that. Of course, in your classes, faculty are going to work with you on stuff, but just know that you don't want to go take somebody's complete other project and post it as your own, because it'll get flagged. So the biggest thing is too, I want you to make sure that don't hesitate to reach out. If you have questions, or you're stuck on an assignment, or you're not sure on something, y'all don't wait. Don't hesitate to reach out and ask. The webinars and the focus videos will walk you through different concepts and how to find the assignments and how to download it and ideas of what to do. But your instructor is going to be the one that actually grades it. So if there's certain things they want you to do a certain way, they usually put that in their announcement section, or they'll send an email out. They'll let you know. So just make sure you're always double checking with them. We have amazing faculty here at SNHU, and all of them want you to be so successful. I will post right here. I am going to post the where you can find the webinar recordings and the focus videos. Remember, the focus videos, both for SNHU 107 and IDS 105, are already loaded for the term. So they're already there. You can view them as many times as you want. If you log into the webinar page, you will see some webinars from week 4, week 5, week 6, week 7, because we have an active term that finishes. They're in their last week here right now. So once those are done, I'll flip them to all the new stuff. So this, just when you log in, just look for the preterm webinar, but an email will go out to you with a reminder of the webinar recording link. So I think that is it. I hope y'all had a great day. I'm sorry if I went just a little bit over. I was going to try to be 45 minutes or so. But I was thrilled to be able to get to know all of you. And we are so excited to have you here at SNHU. You're going to do wonderful. You're going to do great. Remember, I got this. I can do this. I am worth it. Officially, again, welcome to our SNHU family. We are so excited. You got this, y'all. Have a great rest of your week. I'll work on getting this downloaded and uploaded for you to go back and watch the recording as many times as you want. Bye, everybody.